Hey, top of the evening, everybody. I used to say Facebook, but now we're on quite a few platforms. So just do the generic call out to the folks watching across all the social media platforms. Appreciate everybody tuning in on a nice Friday evening. Still got a little bit of light out there. We'll take it. Time change. Hopefully, this week wasn't too rough on you. Honey, if you want to make sure you share this to the Weed Warriors, please, I'd appreciate it. Hey, Jill, thanks for stopping by. Your order to the wrong color had the wrong color sweater, so they are coming. She said they should be ready Wednesday next week. So I know your order says pending shipment or something, but it is going to be a couple days. So sorry about that. Shout out to Higher Love. I finally got this now where I flipped the camera, so now I don't get confused with where Higher Love is. Shout out to Higher Love for being the sponsor of the podcast and overall huge advocate for helping us to legalize. Appreciate our partnership with them and everything they do for the movement and for the podcast. So if you haven't got a chance to check them out, please do. They're located all across the UP, including looking forward to going to be out in Menominee next Saturday for the grand opening of the in-store facility there as well. So really looking forward to that. Promo code's right above us. Love Podcast 15. Gonna get a quick invite ready here. Philip's actually gonna, when he saw what we were talking about tonight, he's like, "Oh, dude, let me hop in on that." So gonna send him a quick little invite. I think he was finishing up rugby practice, so he's gonna join us here in a little bit. Let me get this onto him. Boom. All right. Super excited for what we're going to be discussing tonight. Quick reminder, if you're watching this after it's live, if you can just leave a replay. If you're joining us live, just let us know where you're joining in from. We're all about community. Excuse me. Got any questions, drop them in the comments. This is a us thing. So by all means, if there was a topic you guys want to talk about or it gets discussed, I'll talk on it all night. We can switch topics, whatever. But I am really excited to touch base on, let me get this pulled up. A good buddy of mine and really the mentor or somebody I look up to and a good friend that I grew up with. He was out in DC last week, and he knows Jack Herrera is my guy. That's my idol. And how do I share screen again? Get this out of here. Present. Show screen. Yes, I'm sure. All right, here we go. All right. So when he was in DC at the library, he found The Emperor Wears No Clothes by none other than Jack Herrera. So I was really excited to see, not only did he take the time to find it, but he actually scanned the whole thing for me because he's a boss. Like that's awesome. This had to take him a minute to get everything scanned in. I think there's like 100 and some pages, but he took the time to get them scanned in on a thumb drive. And man, there's some crazy stuff in here. I was super excited to share some of this with you guys. So, getting into it here. D, what's up, man? Thank you for swinging by. Appreciate that. All right. So, basically, this is a for those of you who don't know who Jack is, he was one of the biggest advocates in all facets of things, anything cannabis related, really. And actually, let me see how long he was in it because I don't even know like a specific. Hey, Mike, what's up, man? Appreciate you swinging by as well. For some reason, Instagram doesn't let us put our comments on the screen. Apologize about that. Hop over on Facebook or YouTube, it will. But let's get a little background on Jack because I don't know how long he was in the game, that kind of thing. So let's see. Jack Herrera. Oh, I went to strain. I know all about the strain. It's my favorite strain. So Jack Herrera, sometimes called the Emperor of Hemp. Makes sense. And it looks like he was an American cannabis rights activist and the author of The Emperor Wears No Clothes. Herrera founded and served as the director of the organization Help End Marijuana Prohibition. And it looks like he passed away in 2010. He was part of the Grassroots Legalized Cannabis Party. Pretty awesome stuff. What's really neat about this is he's really got together a bunch of different articles that he had found and put together at the time to help end the bad slang or the misconception of cannabis at the time. Um, hey, Cora, thanks for stopping by. Cora May in the house. Appreciate that. Have to subscribe to your YouTube channel. Didn't even know you had one. Oh, yeah, man. Let's Legalize Wisconsin over there on YouTube. Check us out. So, like, for instance, here's one that he had found in Popular Mechanics from February of 1938, the magazine, talking about the new $1 billion crop. So basically, what we're going to look through is some of the findings that Jack had that he felt was enough to get these together to publish them to the public to help bring that awareness to the plant and how much it has done and so on and so forth. So, like right here, though, this is pretty cool. Technology suddenly caught up with hemp in the late 1930s, and the promise of prosperity beckoned from the depths of the Great Depression. If you roll into where were we here? So here's the actual article. We've got a few different pictures. Let's see what we got here. New $1 billion crop. All these products now imported can be produced from homegrown hemp, fishnets, bowstrings, canvas, strong rope, overalls, tablecloths, fine linen garments, towels, bed linen. And this is what people were doing back then. Again, it's the fact that cannabis has become such a terrible thing is just crazy to me with how intertwined it was with our communities at one point. Joined 420. What's up, Kev? Kev's right on time. 420. Let's go. I like this photo too. This is from Popular Mechanics. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's a gas station pump and it says no greenhouse effect, no sulfurs, no lead, straight gas. Love it. Oh, that's cool. So many different uses. So there was actually the United States Department of Agriculture had a bulletin out. So most farmers would have been seeing this or receiving this for hemp herds as paper making material. And I've talked about this a couple of times, but you can see here 1 acre of hemp equals 4.1 acres of forest land when it comes to paper. They go into the breakthrough in paper making, basically when they were able to figure this out. Whoa, I skipped a page. Kev says, how you all doing? Just learning more about good old Mary Jane. That's right, man. Appreciate you swinging by. That's what we do. Keep getting the word out there. Keep telling your friends, the people who don't believe in it. There's just way too much to this plant to just let it keep being a prohibition era. The bill brings the activities, the crushing of this great industry under the supervision of a bureau, which may mean its suppression. So I believe this was, the prohibitive marijuana tax. This one is a little longer. Once Phil Scott gets in here, we might touch on that. Justin, thanks for stopping by. I love what you're doing. Hey, I love that you're a part of it, man. It's all of us. So super appreciate that. This was kind of the demise, though. Let's see if we can. Let's just touch on it quick. In the secret, the Treasury Department meetings conducted between 35 and 37, the prohibitive tax laws were drafted and strategies plotted. Marijuana was not banned outright. An occupational excise tax upon dealers and a transfer tax upon dealings in marijuana was called for. So just to give you an idea, importers, manufacturers, sellers, and distributors had to register with the Secretary of the Treasury and pay the occupational tax. Transfers were taxed at $1 an ounce, $100 an ounce if the dealer was unregistered. Also, sales to unregistered taxpayer was prohibitively taxed. At this time, raw drug cannabis sold for more than $1 an ounce. So essentially what slowly started happening was they worked it out due to the cost of it. It got too expensive, is my understanding. And again, it was behind closed doors. It was all the secret. Essentially, it was the start of the war on drugs. When we get into so here's information from the body of medical literature on cannabis medicine. So this would be a whole nother article that he has on here. But man, there's just so much stuff in here. 1988, the DEA judge rules that cannabis has medical value. Boom. In 1988, it was already brought up. Despite the preponderance of evidence, DEA Director John Lawn ordered on December 30th, 1989, that marijuana remained listed as Schedule 1 narcotic as having no medical use, even though the judge ruled that it has medical use. Oh my gosh. We could probably put another one of these books together just with all the nonsense going on out there today. Whoops. Why does it keep doing that? This article is neat too. Protecting farmers. Well, not neat. Like, it's not cool, but just interesting. Protecting pharmaceutical companies' profits. Normal High Times and Omni in 1982 indicate that Eli Lilly Co., Abbott Labs, Pfizer, Smith Kline in French, and others would lose hundreds of millions to billions of dollars annually if cannabis were legal to the U.S. and lose even more billions in third world countries. Remember, these drug companies, at their own instance, specifically by lobbying, got the federal government to outlaw all positive research into medical cannabis in 1976, the last year of the Ford administration. So they were already talking billions back then in 1982. So it's got to be trillions now, as to why it would make sense that they hold up as the pharmaceutical companies. There's so much stuff here. I didn't know how to break this up and make it where we could touch base on all of it. If you guys see something that sticks out, a headline you want me to read into a little more, let me know. I wanted to go over some of this goes into real quick, the therapeutic uses of cannabis goes into that. I want to go in towards the middle here. There's quite a few snippets. Let's see. Oh yeah, here we go. This stuff is so intriguing to me. So like for instance, oh man, I don't even know. Oh, I remember. Hang on. I wanted to pull up. So this real quick is the Farmers Bulletin on growing hemp. So this would be all the information that they would have gotten sent the farmers, so that they could figure out, how to how to grow this new plant, how to get the seeds. Those are supplied by the government as well, in some sorts. So Hemp for Victory. I like how it ends. You got the Saints newsletter. We've got hemp wood as a paper making material in 1921. Why does it keep going blue? Army study of cannabis smokers points to better ways of treatments. Hello. Mama, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. Good to see you. There's a couple in here. I don't know how to bookmark a digital PDF, because when I was reading through this, there's just so many things. But there was one I definitely wanted to read. Radioactivity, the newfound danger in cigarettes. Drug charges. What was this one? We're getting close, I feel like. This was the marijuana conviction, part 1, the birth of prohibition. Well, that'd be interesting. I gotta chop that up. Bulletin, hemp herds, paper making. We're close, guys. Hang on here. Oh man, there's so much stuff. It's crazy. If you can't see this, what does this say here? In this one, it says, the flag, we can't stand by and let them burn the flag. Okay. I thought that was tied into... Here we go. Here's some old, our filthy seas, what Exxon leaves behind. In global warming debate, skeptics quarrel Bush with a policy of inaction. Cannabis backers urge production of dioxin-free paper made from hemp. Local groups discuss legalization of cannabis at forum. This was back in '89 at Ohio University. The Athens Messenger. Club doesn't endorse pot use but likes hemp. That was from 1989. Oh, there's my buddy Mark. He's the one who was nice enough to scan a copy of this for us. He said the original USDA hemp bulletins on farming and paper making can be viewed at the Steinbach Agriculture Library at the UW-Madison campus. Awesome. That's so cool. There's so much history in this plant. It's let's see what else we got here. How our heads of state got high. Oh man, what is that now? Now I'm intrigued. JFK's most effective space program was the one he conducted on himself. I gotta read that one. I don't want to read the whole thing to you guys, but how our heads of state got high. I love it. From High Times, April of 1980. This was an interesting article about Paul's pot bus shocker makes him the jailhouse rocker. Let me see if I can read it. Get it blown up. Oh, wrong button. Boom. Zoom a little more. Because this would have been, here we go. Paul McCartney of the Beatles. I think we could decriminalize cannabis, and I would like to see a really unbiased medical report on it, said pop singer Paul McCartney after being deported from Japan for bringing almost half a pound of cannabis into Tokyo for a tour that had to be canceled. Paul was the man. Oh, it's Philip Scott. Let's go. Hey, what's up, buddy?
Hello. How's it going, everybody?
You heard we were talking about Paul McCartney, weren't you?
I get it.
We're going over just reading his take when he got caught with a half a pound in Tokyo.
That's not a good place to get caught.
Right? But like even him having the, like he said here, I think we could decriminalize cannabis, and I would like to see a really unbiased medical report on it. And I think we're all still really kind of fighting for that. There's few of them been popping up, but man, it's something. How's your night going, sir? Thank you for joining.
It's going good. This is so cool.
Right? Dude, this is so Mark in the comments here, my buddy that I was telling you about, he was in DC and at the library, and they had this, so he was nice enough to scan the whole thing for me, and it's cool to see this original print. I have a copy, but obviously it's been touched up a few times and whatnot, so this is really neat.
Did we get to the Rockefeller conspiracy yet? No.
We're getting there. The funny part is Mark is such a baller because the first time he scanned all these pages, it didn't work, so he scanned them again. What a boss.
Boss.
He is a boss. The Beatles, here's another article. The Beatles were high on cannabis when Queen Elizabeth decorated them at Buckingham Palace. Well, no kidding. Could you imagine how, don't get me wrong. I would love to be decorated by the Queen, but I'm going to guess it's going to be a pretty boring talking and this, that, and like, just give me the damn thing, lady. Like, I don't know, Philip, I'd be consuming cannabis. How about you?
Oh yeah.
Let's see what else we got. Why? Oh, it's because I'm zoomed in. What a putz. Hang on, folks.
We just got to be like Prince Harry and just party in Vegas and get all the pictures taken and
right. That's about it, dude. Dealer was lured by the DEA for drug deal near the White House. That sucked. Bush used crack as a prop in TV speech to show sales can happen anywhere. What? That makes no sense. Just because you have, so he brought the crack. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, they intertwined crack and cannabis when they started doing their media talks and like stuff like that to really confuse the communities. And it's wild, like how they declared a drug war on something that was available to everybody to use for almost anything. And then how all that money, this is going to tell us a story here. Keep going, Bob.
You're good.
Beans.
You're good, dude. Does this, here, I got to get this guy off the page because he keeps spamming people.
Uh-oh.
Block user.
Yeah, we can't have that.
No. Geo Austin. Let's zoom in on this one a little bit. It says, Philip, I don't know how to bookmark a virtual book, so I've been having to scroll through all this to look for things I saw when I was under the influence of cannabis, so gotta work with me here. The dealer who sold the crack cocaine President Bush used as a prop in his September 5th televised speech on drugs didn't just happen to be across the street from the White House when he peddled it. He was lured there so Bush could say that's where the sale took place. Oh, dude, I don't even want to read the rest of it. That's shady, dude.
Oh, yeah. Well, remember, in today's world, detectives, they don't have to tell you the truth to get you to confess. So they can lie to you to get you to tell them the truth. So if we can do that today, imagine what they were doing back then. Woo!
Yeah, no kidding, dude. So, that is annoying. I don't even want to. The chemistry of reefer madness. Daily pot users high on IQ test? No way. Let's see what this one's about here, guys. Let's see. Let's see what we got. Members of the Ethiopian Zion Coptic Church show no loss of brain power from their consistent and heavy smoking of cannabis. A team of UCLA psychiatric researchers has concluded. In fact, a battery of intelligence test administered to 10 members of the church showed them to be superior to very superior in intellectual functioning, with IQ scores averaging 128 in the top 2% to 7% of the population. It unlocks that next level of brain, man.
The next step.
It does.
You get rid of your nerves before you go in. You might get a little hungry when you're sitting there waiting to take the test.
Yeah, that you might. Pro pot stand kept by police teacher. I've never known a policeman. What does it say? Zoom in a little bit. Zoom. Oh, go back. All right. I've never known a policeman destroyed by cannabis, but I've seen a lot of them destroyed by alcoholism, said Phillips, who called himself a reformed alcoholic. Let's go. Dude, so that was in 75. And he says here, it's just a pleasurable experience that I and everybody else ought to be able to enjoy if we want to, said Bob Phillips, the coordinator of Santa Fe Community College's Police Academy. Let's go, Bob. We're going to figure this out for you. Bob, speaking of, it's always them Bob guys, man.
Getting it done.
Right? Let's see what else we got. An open letter to Bill Bennett. Oh, what's this over here? Congress Agriculture Public Witness Panel Testimony. Oh, God. That sounds boring, but probably important. Drug cases, Imperial Courts. Bennett's bruised brush, caught drinking on the science of fighting a drug war. Government researchers view technology as the key weapon. Their proposals may be begulling, but they come with a price and problems. Uncle Sam wants your privacy. Reefers on KPFA. What is this here? Reefer. Oh, how did they get on the radio?
Reefers.
Last night. Late one night last month, one radio engineer and 4 cannabis smokers drifted into KPFA's empty studios in Berkeley, California, and taped a half-hour show on the pleasures of using reefers. The anonymous smokers, 3 men and a woman, first played some original music and then explained why they use the drug, how they enjoy its after effects, and why it should be legalized and why it isn't habit-forming. It's relaxing, said one. There's nothing harmful in it, said another. I've done nothing criminal, a third claimed. I earn my money. I don't steal. Dude, I love it. We need to find a radio station. I think that would be dope.
Oh, that would be dope.
If we got any radio hosts in the comments here,
ooh,
if you do, let us know. We wanna get in on that. Would you be down? I'll be down.
I'd be down. I know there's a radio station in Madison. I think it's Isthmus Radio or something like that. They'd let us on there, no problem.
Let's go.
I'll get you the link on that. Yeah, we should do that.
We should.
Until you said.
Right. Let's go.
That's why we get on the podcast to figure this out.
Exactly. That's right, man. This is where the brainstorming happens.
And if the community knows anybody, please send them our way. We'd love
100%.
Feed them some info.
Yes.
Education, like we were talking about on Wednesday. Educate.
Educate. Hegemocation. Let's see what we got here. Collective conscience breeds Dutch tolerance. There's no solution to drugs or the war. Legalization would force us to face a serious problem in a realistic way.
Ooh.
Well, what do we got here? The release last month. I can't read that. Who am I fooling? I'm just going to try it, dude. The release last month by a judge of New York of his opinions on drug policy brought a furious response from most quarters who roiled at his suggestion that we be better off under a program of legalization than under the auspices. Dude, there's a lot of words in here. I don't know. Auspices of our present war on drugs. He did find support here and there.
How come when I talks to text today, we don't get these big words like this?
Yeah, right. It's super simple. This is some next level. They wrote this so people reading it would get confused, man. That's why we haven't been able to figure out legalization. The person who takes drugs for a few moments, he is made psychologically free of the awful impositions of life in the ghetto, is indulging in an impulse which Matis Matudius is not unrelated to that of the woman who picks up a volume of poems to relieve her preoccupation with quotidian concerns. The drives are not unrelated. Watching a soap opera are not unrelated. Watching a soap opera on television, reading a thriller, smoking a cigarette, taking a drink, smoking a crack rock have in common the desire to remove oneself from the immediate scene. The differences that engage our attention have to do with the effect of the one form of escapism on the individual compared to other forms of escapism. Holy smokes.
Wow.
I don't know about the crack rock in that, but I think they hit the nail on the head with as far as like somebody just picking up a book to read to like unwind and get, kind of out of the day to day. But
Yeah, and back then TVs weren't everywhere, so
right.
makes
No,
sense.
definitely. There are a lot more people reading their poem books. So I think that's got somewhat of a they write it so like they drag you in and then they zomp you out. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
He knows what I mean.
Oh yeah, that's some manipulative marketing right there.
Right? No, definitely, dude. Here's the voices for legalization. This is pretty neat. We've got a few different quotes from some pretty important folks, it looks like.
The fourth, you would go to prison for doing this. They did it though.
Yeah. I believe that. Court gives CIA power to cloak sources and secrecy. Oh, what's this?
Uh-oh.
Nancy Reagan enlists John Paul II in campaign against drug addiction.
Are they trying to say the church got involved here? What is this?
Let's see what that is. First Lady Nancy Reagan brought her anti-drug campaign to the Vatican in a 30-minute audience Saturday with Pope John Paul II, who deplored the tragic and debilitating effects of drug abuse. The Vatican and Italian security officials cleared half of St. Peter's Square of pilgrims and tourists to let the Reagan motorcade pass through. So what's his beef here? Oh, they exchanged gifts. Really? Reagan gave the Pope the book Scribes and Sources. Okay, it's boring. Reagan was given a silver and mother of pearl rosary. After the audience, the Pope and the First Lady walked out saying, "God bless you. Thank you very much for your visit." Well, this was kind of... Oh, right here. Drug abuse is a great social evil, and the consequences for the family and for society in general are tragic and debilitating. So, yeah, the Pope is not happy with cannabis, it sounds like. So Reagan gave him a gift.
Oh, man. Dustin said he's available if you want him.
Oh, let's go. How do we get him in here? Invite, copy, Gmail. I think I've got his email. Dustin. Nope, that's wrong, Dustin. Do you have his... What's up?
I texted him.
Okay. I'm going to send it to your email, and then you got to forward it to him because for some reason I don't have him on this one. So we're going to go Phil.
Court gives CIA power to cloak sources and secrecy. I'm interested in that because the CIA been doing some funky stuff. This is where we need Dustin because he'll jump into these conspiracies, man.
Good. So we're going to come back to this one once he gets in here. It should be in your email now to invite him, and then that is on page 164. I'll write it down. Boom. Written down. I love all these cool pictures, man. Let me zoom out and see what this is a picture of. Oh, we got a comic. What's the comic? This is taking forever. There we go. All right. Of course, things have really started getting interesting now that the baby boomers have teenagers of their own. How's that, Mr. J? Well, to the vast majority of them, their toking days are a rather pleasant memory. How to reconcile that with the anti-drug message they feel they must give their kids? Hey, anyone see the sports set? Holy smokes. I have definitely died and gone to heaven, says this dude. Fly me to the moon and friend of yours said, oh, dude, they're smoking the dude now. What is going on?
This was the manipulation to the people to be like, don't do it.
Right? Pretty much. Excuse me. Hello. Thank you for not smoking. What? What? And then it looks like this is a second one with the same cast. See, Butsy, the boomers are very ambivalent about me. God, why do they do that? Man, regard their own experience with pot as not only harmless, but actually positive. Yeah, but today you're many times more potent, much more dangerous. Dangerous? This is from a drug that claims over 250,000 lives a year. Oh, that's the cigarette talking. Yeah, well, at least I'm not a gateway drug. At least I don't lead kids to crack. Hey, Butsy, lighten up, bro. I'm sorry, that's Mr. Caffeine speaking. Right? Blame it all on me. Oh, all right. Hey, ayo, guys. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. So that is a good point, though, dude. Caffeine is quite addictive.
Oh yes, especially that. I mean, from this timetable to now, think about caffeine's exploded, sugar's exploded.
Right? No, it sure has. Oh, we got the trifecta. What's up, buddy?
Hey, what kind
Thanks for
of
swinging.
yeah, so what do you guys I hear some
Dude,
goofy stuff you guys.
we're chopping it up, man. We just got done some Doonesbury comics, but we saved the court gives CIA power to cloak sources and secrecy until you got
Yeah.
here. So we're gonna check
Dude,
this one out.
just for you.
Let's see. So it says the Supreme Court ruled Tuesday that the CIA has sweeping authority to maintain the secrecy of its far-ranging sources of intelligence data. The court said that even when disclosure would not affect national security, the CIA may refuse requests under the Freedom of Information Act for the names of scientists, researchers, and others who provide intelligence for the books, journals, and other documents the agencies analyzes. Congress intended to give the director of Central Intelligence broad power to protect the secrecy and integrity of the intelligence process. The reasons are too obvious to call for enlarged discussion. Without such protection, the agency would be virtually impotent. So is this saying they can say whatever they want about cannabis and not have to like prove their work for their studies? Or what is that about?
You know what? I'm gonna former Sheriff David Clark did a talk show radio announcement a couple weeks ago about something similar to this, and he was referring to DARPA. So
Okay.
that might be interesting to look into that. But yeah, there's programs out there that they have authorization,
Jeez.
but it's on a need to know basis. But this is some funny stuff here you got.
Got it all going on. Hey, Sarah, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for meeting up the other day for breakfast. U.S. smoking toll put at $52 billion. Jesus. Oh, DuPont. Oh, we got DuPont, man. Okay, we got to look at this. These are the guys. I don't like
DuPont be messing the world up.
Right? What do we got here? In all, let's see what he circled. With respects to taxation, of which the direct burden upon your company in 1937 was approximately 18.9 million, the future is clouded with uncertainties, not only as to the amount and form of future imposts, but also as to the extent to which the revenue-raising power of government may be converted into an instrument for forcing acceptance of sudden new ideas of industrial and social recognition. The funds for the development of new industries or for expansion of established lines must be provided out of savings, either a prudently withheld part of the. What is this talking about, man?
See, a lot of this is just the wording they use. They hype it up into a way that makes you dig deeper. Like it sounds like a conspiracy theory, but at the end of the day, like you break it down and you simplify it, and like there's programs out there that are right there in the legislature that you can, use to your advantage if you're a company or a program and you want to develop something.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I've heard of companies that are starting to experiment with like biomedical engineering, using what do you call it? There's some research law that's related to biomedical weapons research. you
Okay.
know, and people are using stuff like that. And so a lot of that stuff is kind of, you just got to dig deep into the laws. And, but when you're trying to articulate it into a journalistic form like this, you know,
It's
clear that they're not using the right euphemisms to avoid the conspiracy theorists, but at the same time, that's probably their market.
sure. No, I get what
Does
you're
that
saying.
make sense? You
I get
know?
what you're saying. Sure. And what is this now, boys? We got
Uh-oh.
DuPont Company and the Nuclear Weapons Industrial Complex.
Whoa.
So DuPont Nuclear Regulatory Commission, Savannah River Plant, weapons grade plutonium, nuclear components and materials. Okay. So apparently there's an assembly in Pintax, Texas, it looks like.
Bang,
Mason and Hanger. And then Monsanto makes the nuclear components. Rockwell International, of course, Rockwell is involved.
Yeah, I told
Nuclear, you did, dude. Nuclear materials. Union Carbide, nuclear materials. General Electric, electrical components. I knew it, dude. My microwave makes a funny noise very often. Benedex, Kansas City, Missouri was the electrical and mechanical weapons components. Kirkland Air Force Base. Dude, this is deep. Oh, to the Pentagon down here, boys. Oh, to the White House. What is going on?
it makes sense. Though.
It does.
This is basically, go, scroll back up once.
Okay.
Go up. Okay, so like the way I see this, like that center circle there, right?
Whoa.
Erase all that word, erase, like, you know what I mean? Erase all the writing in there and just put legislature. The legislature is the source for all the information that comes in. That's how they create bills.
Sure.
And some information may or may not, like, it has to go through proper channels. You know, so the Pentagon is also going to always be in touch with Congress. You know, when there's issues that arise, the legislature is one of the first lines of intelligence gathering throughout our nation.
I want you to look at that circle too. Think about all those things around that circle and who influenced most of those. Probably the Rockefeller family. I'm telling you, 1937? No, 38. Whenever they forced him to bust up that oil monopoly, he told the world, I'm going to collapse the U.S. economy and take it over. And he started spending every single one of his dollars he was making to influence everything. When you look at that circle, I guarantee a lot of his businesses are suppliers to somewhere along that way.
You're probably right. Oh, here he's got, looks like he made a note. Scattered pieces of, what does that say? Hang on, I got to zoom in a little more here, guys. Shout out to Marcus, man. This is just beautiful copying by whatever scanner you use, man. That was a good scanner. Does that say drug? No. Scattered pieces of reels.
General Motors most of the time was controlling ownership directly through DuPont in a captive market for their paints, vanishes, plastics, Tupperware, etc.
No kidding, dude.
All cahoots, man. That explains why back in, was it 2008 or 2018 when the GMC needed to be bailed out by the U.S. government? Look at this. It goes back.
Yeah. And right here, dude, the DuPonts were able to use their control of the entire sphere of the auto industry to keep out incompatible technologies. When Morgan and the Rockefellers blocked them from taking over U.S. Steel in 1926, they simply started substituting more and more plastics in their GM models. And when used in their car's fuel line, say the carburetor, these plastics melt if you try to run on a fuel mix containing menthol. What the?
That makes sense. That's how they were able, GM and the
DuPont
family were able to block Ford in all their research. Look at that. It's right there.
What competition would come in and take out all of those, like the plastic and the paint? You know, now you're going to, like, over time you evolve. And back then, what kind of knowledge did they have access to be able to know that some of that stuff was harmful, if not all of it, to people? You know, now we're going to evolve into you know, more we'll call it greener solutions. But you know, now you're going to be, you take away those variables from a major industry. It's, you can't just flip the switch overnight. You know, it's got to evolve.
Sure. That's crazy, dude. Oh, we got to get an updated book, or like we could make just the amount of resources that we could bring together now.
Well, that one just said Catholics in the DuPont. So this article right there under that chapter 3 one, man,
Yeah.
it makes the. I don't want to say it because I don't want to upset people, but like these articles are saying the church and DuPont are in business together here almost.
Right? Yeah. Here's this looks like a little more of it. You got more Dana Beal pieces. Who's Dana Beal? Is that a name? I think so. I think that's what he wrote on the previous page. Let's see. I'm looking for the word DuPont or something in here. Here, in the early 70s were a bad time for cannabis prohibition. As had been noted, resistance to the Anslinger-LaRoche line was so intense in academia and the federal bureaucracy that Columbia University in 1975 specifically staged a press conference to disassociate itself from Nas UN studies, even though Nas remained a tenured Columbia professional. What?
Hey, Irvin Dana Beal is an American social and political activist best known for his efforts to legalize marijuana and to promote the benefits of ibogaine as an addiction treatment. He is a founder and long-term activist in the Youth International Party and founded the Yipster Times newspaper in 1972.
No. Oh, so he's probably the writer of this.
Oh.
Because I think that's what he's making this sound like. Pieces, you know.
What's this saying over here on the right column there? Second paragraph talks
This
about
one?
OSS there. Yeah.
For one of these
No,
fighters.
the one below that.
Oh, sure.
But yeah, that one too. Actually, yeah, start from there.
For one of these fighters, Robert Gunk, who had worked in other OSS section planning post-war denazification, this turn of events was especially frustrating for him. Denazification was personal, and he would become Dr. Baer's main source for much of this. Gunk had lost his father, the chief rabbi of Paraguay, because the old man refused to leave when the Nazis occupied Bohemia. He knew, among just a few in the post-war Austria, the truth about Kurt Waldheim's past. But U.S. intelligence had classified all the documents which would impeach Waldheim's version of events for 30 or 40 years. The year was 46. Meanwhile, London LaRoche and a young Frenchman named Gabriel Nas were also working for the OSS and other departments. LaRoche at a desk in Washington, Nas in Burma in 1943, and subsequently in the Southern European theater. They didn't meet each other until after the war, however, in Washington, D.C., of course. In 1948, they began a collaboration which deepened as they both moved on to Columbia University in the 50s. LaRoche to spy on the Socialist Workers' Party and ultimately form his own neo-fascist version of SDS. Nas to make his name by planting hysterical scare stories about cannabis in the press at a time when the general weight of scientific opinion was moving in the other direction. No shit. It's not until the late early 60s, in quotes, under a pothead President Kennedy, that Nas and LaRoche happened to meet Waldheim through the OSS Old Boys Network. Old Boys ready to work together on new project. In his autobiography, Waldheim records his excitement at the beginning of the new ambassador from a country which had just been reunited after being partially occupied by Russians, especially at meeting such great scientists as Gabriel Nas and Edward Teller. What in the hell?
What the? It's so deep.
And then even over here, there's, what is this? Bourne has exposed as having used cocaine at a normal party. What is going on? Oh my God.
Now the government's trying to bash the advocates publicly. Okay. So
that's what it.
We can't really bash him because he's a pothead, because he admits publicly he's a pothead. So let's get him on some crack at a party or some.
Right? Oh my God. This is some crazy stuff, dude.
This is wild.
What year was this written? What, this article? 1913?
No. Well, no. This says 1946. And they're referencing the 46 in the past. So.
Oh, I saw something that you scrolled down. It looked like the heading.
Right this is a new thing. This is a yearbook or something. Oh yeah, we just got tons of everything here. Let's zoom back out. Oh man, I got to read that dude's book. If that's just an excerpt of it, like. Pope says ecological crisis threatens peace. What? That better not have anything to do with cannabis.
What?
Does that have anything to do with cannabis? Growing awareness, he said, world peace is threatened not only by the arms race, religious conflicts, and continued injustices among people and nations, but also by a lack of due respect for nature. The fruits of the earth are divinely intended as a common heritage for all mankind, he said, and added, so what? This guy needs to make up his mind. Stuff from the earth is good or it's not. What the hell was that? Somebody just blow their nose?
No, we're good.
Jesus.
My fault.
Jerry speaks, an exclusive interview with Jerry of the Grateful Dead. Oh, I see valuable plant. Da-da-da. Okay. Jerry knows what's up.
A grass house in your future.
Hey. Whoop, that's upside down. So is this like the what do they call that? Hempcrete?
Yeah,
I'm gonna guess.
It's gotta be.
That's awesome. Shows us his pyramid home in West Virginia.
What's the year? What's the date on the article?
That would be published by 1989.
Okay.
Yep. They knew it was up back then already. Let's go. Hemp for Victory. Get your own crisp, clean VHS copy of Hemp for Victory, the 1942 USDA pro marijuana film. Hey, this is cool over here. Which bud's for you? And it's got a Budweiser and then a bud on the right side. I love it. Oh, that's cool. I want one of those.
Which tokes the joke?
Oh, shit. Which tokes the joke? Love it. Oh, yeah. And it's got 80%, 7% of lung cancer deaths. Okay. Jill says, what are you all smoking tonight? I've got... Oh, Sarah, if you're still here, I'm smoking that little hodgepodge you made for me, and it's quite delicious. What are you guys rocking on your side of the valley?
Well, I'm smoking some THCA. Diamonds.
Oh, he's got the diamonds rolling.
Boy.
Dustin, are you sober this evening?
Yeah.
Smart man. You got sick kids.
I got my kids still. Yeah, I got my kids running around here. So I might have to go check on that for a second. But
what's the rest of the community smoking tonight? What kind of strains you got out there?
Yeah, what do the followers got? What do followers got?
Yeah.
5 things you can do right now to help. Imagine planting a victory garden and reaping the harvest legally. Oh, this is a normal handout.
Look at that.
That's a pretty dope looking picture.
That's legit marketing.
Over here, you've got Unlocking the Truth, the Hemp Report, the Environmental Connection. Fair enough. Hooked on Drug Laws. We'll know when the war's over. Newspaper. Let's see what else we got cooking here. Oh man, there's just so much. I wanted to see what book this. Oh, that was the pamphlet on growing. Fat solubility, pot scare quietly put to sleep. Ooh, what is this? Jill is smoking hash burger. That sounds delicious. A hash burger. Ooh. John's got Northern Lights, my man.
Ooh, Northern Lights. Get the little things popping.
None of the negative studies on this page has ever been confirmed or repeated. Still, the DEA still distributes them as being facts. Of course they do.
That right there. This means no marijuana, end products. Don't pile it up in your brains and balls and ovaries.
What?
Right there.
Well, yeah. What the hell?
What is?
Don't pile up in your brains. Is that what somebody said at some point? I'm guessing.
That's like a perfect thing for a T-shirt.
It's not as bad as they say, I promise.
We should put that on a T-shirt and send that to Voss's office.
Yeah, we should, dude. Yeah.
I call him Birdman, by the way. I don't know if I told you that the other night, but he's Birdman. He looks
Birdman?
like a bird, bro.
He does.
Sorry.
That's fair. On Instagram, Sam says he's got his, what does that say? Oh my God, I need to clean my game. It's banana runts. Let's go. On November 2nd, 1972, New England Journal of Medicine carried an article entitled, oh, God, Gynecomastia in Cannabis Users by two members of the Harvard Medical School faculty. Gynecomastia is the medical term for enlarged breasts in the male. The surgeons pointed out in their article that they had treated 3 young men in the age 22 to 26 age group for this concern, and that all 3 turned out to be heavy pot smokers. So maybe that's where this fat thing came from, I bet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There's a strong similarity between an ingredient of cannabis, delta-9 THC, and the female hormone estrocidal. Young men who smoke pot heavily, and by that I mean 1 or 2 hours per day, or 2 or 3 hours, 3 or 4 times a week. Such men stand a very good chance of developing this gynecomastia.
What's the date on this article?
Is that 73? Yeah,
30?
it looks like a 73 there.
They called it Delta 9 marijuana in 73 before they made it illegal. These mother.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Delta 9. There's snakes, bro. We got a lot of snakes out here.
That's crazy. I mean, that just goes back to the fact that it is the same thing.
Right. Italian Stallion says he has, hey, Twitter comments show up now. That's awesome. Italian Stallion says 200 milligrams of THCA coconut oil hash capsules. Oh, God.
Nice.
All right.
That's a good night.
Yeah, right.
No
He's in for a great sleep.
No pain.
I can't feel my face. Ooh, what is this? Whoa. Now this looks cool. The Library of Congress. Zoom in. This is where it gets good. I can feel it. Educational film. All right. So this is the Library of Congress, Washington, D.C. from 1989. To whom it may concern. 2 half-inch VHS videotapes were brought to the MBRS division on Friday, May 19th. Their bearer, Jack Herrera of the Help Eliminate Marijuana Prohibition Political Action Committee, donated the tapes to the library's collection. He spoke with Catherine Lofney. The tapes are duplicates. Each contains the following. Hemp for Victory, produced in 1942 by the USDA, 14 minutes. Reefer Madness excerpts, produced in 1936, originally 67 minutes, but this material is excerpts only. To hope. Italian Stallion said exactly. He's looking for sleep. He's going to find it. What else we got in here from? Oh, he brought these tapes everywhere. Here's another one. Where is this? And it says gift of video cassettes. That's awesome.
Reefer Madness.
Right? The old madhouse. That one's hard to read. The National Union Catalog. Motion pictures and film strips. Ooh, here's a letter from Jack. Help eliminate prohibition. Dear friend, for the last 15 years, the United States Department of Agriculture's 1942 film, Hip for Victory, was given to every facet of the media, newspapers, magazines, TV, etc., by the California Marijuana Initiative, the Oregon Marijuana Initiative, NORML, etc., as part of our proof of hemp's history and the incredible potential for mass-producing hemp by harvesting it mechanically. See Popular Mechanics article, And for the last 15 years, the USDA, its library, and the libraries of Congress have told or written the media and all other interested parties, see enclosed letter to Jim Evans, that no such movie was ever made by the USDA or any branch of the U.S. government. In May of 1989, 2 people, myself, were in D.C. going through the Library of Congress motion pictures and film strip records and the records at the USDA library at Bettsville, Maryland, after being told by their libraries that it simply couldn't have disappeared from the card catalogs, files, and electronic searches of all major libraries. If the U.S. government had indeed made it, we looked until we were beat and we quit. Then we decided to try one more at the Library of Congress. We asked for the film categories of 30 to 40 years ago, and after all those government searches denying its existence, we found it. See includes certification from the Library of Congress. We donated 2 VHS copies of HFV into the Library of Congress, and they were accepted on May 19th, 1989. That's baller, dude. They knew it was in there somewhere, so they just kept looking.
Huh.
What, dude?
It's wild. That is.
This man is a legend.
They were on a mission.
He was, man. I love it. I wonder where he was from. I feel like it had to be a drive out there.
I wonder when this was all released.
Right?
Was it recently released?
Here's in '89 when this dude from the USDA said we couldn't find it. We don't have it. We don't blah, blah, blah.
Lies.
Right. Interesting, dude. Oh, Jack.
Bunch of articles.
Hemp for Victory, Governor's best film to date on cannabis use. What is this here? The Reign of Law, a title of the Kentucky hemp fields. Well, that looks interesting. Oh, there was a court. Something. Hang on here. Again, couldn't figure out a virtual bookmark yet, but there was something really neat in here. Let's see if I can zoom out a little. Index. Here, let's look at the index and see if there's anything you guys want me to pick out. We got lots of names here on the right. Soil, South Africa. Which wormhole do we want to go down? Camp program. George Bush. France.
Well, there's hemp.
Oh, where's that at?
Are you looking on the right or the?
Right here, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, 69 and 74. Let's see.
We're gonna get you some sounds.
I got a soundboard. I got to figure out how to hook it up. It looks like a nightmare. But yes, that would be nice. 69. By 1937, half century of suppression and repression. So factories in the Navy. So it must be talking about. However, according to OSHA and insurance actual findings, plus the AFL-CIO, it is alcohol that is involved in 90 to 95% of drug-related factory accidents. In fact, numerous U.S. Army tests of the effects of cannabis on soldiers through the 50s and 60s at Edgewood Arsenal, Maryland, and elsewhere show no loss of motivation or performance after 2 years of heavy military-sponsored smoking of cannabis. What? God, that's a post right there. I want to make that into a post. How do I save this spot? Oh, I can highlight. Are you kidding me?
So
sweet.
So there's a list of people in the country too that still get a 10 every 6 months from the University of Mississippi.
Sure.
You get a 10
that's crazy to me.
And it's paid for by the government and this part of research. It's wild.
That is crazy. You love to hear it though. Because it's like we knew at one point it was good. We're still just gonna be dicks about it though. LaRoe. Oh, go ahead, bud.
Oh, keep going. I was gonna say I wanted to see if you could check back on that. The index there.
Oh yeah.
What countries did they have again?
Quite a few. Oh,
no. They have Israel on there?
Let's see. Oh, what? Oh. Here we go. Israel. I do not see that on there. Yes. Sassy Pants. Oh my gosh. I'm drawing a Susie. She knows one of the ladies who still gets a tin of joints. That's awesome.
That is awesome. Should get her on the podcast. We need to talk.
Yeah, no kidding. That would be awesome. Supreme Court tariff. We've got John Sinclair, Sylvia, Hempseed. Ooh, Babe Ruth, 71. I'm a huge Yankee guy, so I gotta check this out quick. What did Babe do? Babe's going to the slammer. Babe Ruth, former baseball commissioner Pete ordered all personnel except unionized players to submit to urine tests from the owners to the peanut vendors to the bat boys. It's mandatory in order to be employed. Jeez. Wow. By 1990, it had been incorporated into all contracts, including ball players. Whether you smoked an hour or 30 days ago, the urine tests were all the same, positive. Aside from the civil liberties questions raised, it is apparently forgotten that Babe Ruth would regularly invite players to accompany him while he drank 12 beers prior to playing a game during alcohol prohibition. Many dry organizations and even league commissioner implored him to think of the children who idolized him and stop, but the Babe refused. What a guy. Tens of millions of Americans chose to use cannabis to relax during their time off the job and therefore would risk criminal penalties. Job performance should be the principal criticizer of evaluation for all employees. No shit.
Well, speaking of that, even to today, it's wild how more loose laws are becoming for cannabis consumption with employment, because the employers are like, wait, we don't have anybody that's like, we can't fill these jobs and these roles. So like,
exactly,
one way we can do this. And it's like, you guys could have done this the whole time. So you guys are all part of the problem too at the end of the day.
Well, right? Exactly. It's, oh my God. That is awesome though. He just said, fuck it. What makes the DARE program uniquely dangerous is that it provides some accurate information, but undermines itself in the public record by using lies and innuendo about cannabis. Amen. The ultimate hypocrisy. While waging its self-styled war on drugs against the third world peasants and American civilians, the Reagan-Bush Qual administrations have encouraged and covered up drug smuggling and distribution by high-ranking officials of the U.S. government. Ooh, what do we got here?
Ooh, that's juicy.
On the one hand, Bush violated international law by invading Panama to bring reputed drug smuggler and longtime Bush CIA employee Manuel Noriega to the U.S. to stand trial. On the other hand, he refused to extradite Oliver North, John Hall, Admiral Poindexter, General Secord, Louis Tams, and other Americans to Costa Rica, where they were under indictment by the government for operating a drug smuggling operation there.
Of course. That's wild.
What? Things are so messed up, dudes.
Oh, it's all backwards, man. They they were part of the problem the whole time, and they just knew how to hide it.
Well, the DARE program, there's still, back in like 2018, there was still local law enforcement in Wisconsin advocating as DARE instructors or previous DARE instructors trying to push legislation through.
Oh, really?
I don't know how far that went, but
sure. Jeez. Oh, what do we got? This marijuana and the Jim Crow laws. Since the abolition of slavery, race and bigotry have generally had to manifest themselves in less basic forms. Cannabis prohibition law illustrates again this institutional intolerance of racial minorities and show how prejudice is concealed behind rhetoric and laws which seem to have an entirely different purpose. Huh. All that jazz, voodoo music, they call jazz voodoo music. That's quite the take. Music that forced even decent white women to tap their feet and was ultimately aimed at throwing off the yoke of the whites. Today, we call that new music jazz. What? Oh, my God.
Oh, man.
Hashish candy. Oh, this was neat. I remember seeing this. This was from, oh, man. It doesn't say where it came from, but I know this was a long time ago. This was like a Montgomery Ward catalog or something where you could order hashish candy.
Oh.
And it looks like it was for what they have here. And I got to zoom in a little bit. The zoomers are on. The Arabian Ganji of I can't really read what the entrenchment confectionized, the most pleasurable and harmless stimulant, cures nervousness, weakness, melancholy, and inspires all classes with new life and energy. A complete mental and physical invigorator. Send for circular. Beware of imitations. 25 cents and one per box. Imported only by Ganja Wala Co.
Interesting.
Oh my gosh.
I wonder how many were in a box.
Right. Oh, here we
$1
go.
a gram.
Here.
Maple sugar hashish candy.
Maple sugar hashish candy in the 1860s. Oh, so that's when this thing's from, because it's that same company. Made maple sugar candy, which soon became one of the most popular treats in America. It was sold over the counter and advertised in newspapers by Sears Roebuck. That's who it was. As well as being listed in its own catalogs as totally harmless fun candy for 40 years. Jeez.
Somebody
That
find me
actually
that.
sounds really good.
Give me
It
the-
does.
Maple syrup.
Right?
I mean, we are a maple syrup state.
That we
With
are.
the maple syrup tinctures.
In the early 1860s, Mark Twain's best friend and mentor was the already famous best-selling writer and advocate of cannabis, the young Fitzhugh Ludlow. That's awesome. Ludlow extolled hashish eating as a wondrous mind adventure, but warned strongly against overindulgence of it and all drugs. Sassy says, I bet they had a kick. I'm sure they did.
Hey, Bobby, go to the bottom right of this page to the next page.
This one?
The smear campaign. Let's do
Oh,
something.
here we go. The psychopolitical force would be strong enough to turn Americans against something as innocent as a plant, let alone one which everyone had an interest in using to improve their own lives. Earlier, you read how the first federal anti-cannabis laws came about because of William Randolph Hearst's lies, yellow journalism, and racist newspaper articles and ravings, which from then on were cited in congressional testimony by Harry Anslinger as facts. But what started Hearst on the cannabis and racist scare stories? What intelligence or ignorance for which we still punish fellow Americans to the tune of 12 million years in jail in just the last 50 years brought this all about? The first step was to introduce the element of fear of the unknown by using a word that no one had ever heard of before, marijuana. The next step was to keep the maneuverings hidden from the doctors and hemp industries who would have defended by holding most of the hearings on prohibition in secret. And finally, to tap into an existing pool of hatred that was already poisoning society, racism. Damn.
It sounds like what Voss is doing to us right now.
Right?
I got something to say about that. Like,
yeah,
the biggest money maker for this cannabis industry, while keeping it illegal the way it is the probation offices. And you want to talk about recidivism rates. Someone gets out on probation, all they have to do is test hot, like have a urine test, and they get tossed right back in. And then that's just more money and more commission on commissary and state funding for those inmates. For those jurisdictions that make money off of those inmates. And I think when you legalize it or when it becomes legal, how is that going to affect that revenue?
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because it's one of those things that's been around so long now that it probably is like, it's hard to basically admit you were wrong and then also to be like, yeah, we'll figure out a different source of revenue. And unfortunately, that's what it comes down to is the money, right? Like, if it wasn't about the money, those guys would be for it. But what would they do? Where would their money come from?
Well, right. To tap that off too, think about big insurance. Like the big lobby groups in DC are getting paid by these big old insurance companies because they got lots of money, right? And like if we go federally legal and it goes to Schedule 3, now those insurance companies that are medical providers for insurance have to pay for medicine now because that's what they keep wanting to call it.
Yeah. He's not wrong. This is crazy. The Police Gazette estimated there are over 500 hashish smoking parlors in New York City in the 1880s, and it was estimated by the NYPD that there were still 500 or more hashish parlors in NYC in the 1920s. More of these parlors than there were speakeasies during the same 1920s alcohol prohibition period. That's crazy. It was entirely new.
That's a lot of knowledge in 2 pages right there.
That's crazy. 500 in New York. I mean, I know New York's large, but geez. That's a crap load, man.
What do they call the gas stations on every corner in New York? What do they they got a name. I can't think of it right now.
But I don't know. When I went to New York, I just went in there and said some special words, and I found weed in like every corner.
You're right. I believe it. Oh, did you know Napoleon was involved in hemp? Look at this. Napoleon, infuriated with the Tsar for allowing Britain's lifeblood of Navy hemp to reach England, builds up his army and invades Russia, planning to punish the Tsar and ultimately stop hemp from reaching the British Navy.
Yeah, back then, soldiers' uniforms were made of hemp, and along with the rope,
and the sails.
Yeah, I mean, Wisconsin was part of that too. When during the Civil War, even post-Civil War, post-Revolutionary War too. The British were still active in this region, trying to take out hemp farms and stuff because they were supplying the Unions and the Continental Army with their equipment.
This is true. Bird mask filled his herbs to fend off plague.
Plague. The plague.
Oh, plague. I can't read. I'm thinking about my dentist visit. All right, leave me alone. Alcohol was legal. What do we got here? To have a witch's knowledge of this, herbalists or chemists of making, using, or dispensing to others any unguent or preparation, including cannabis as medicine or as a sacramental wine. However, it was for the third and most popular type of satanic mass that the hate and wrath of our Roman Catholic Church against cannabis ingestion was directed. This evil was called the Mass of Tragedy. Jeez. In fact, virtually the only legal medical cures allowed the people of Western Europe by the Roman Catholic Church fathers at the time were wearing a bird mask for the plague. Oh, geez. Bleeding pints and even quarts of blood from all flu, pneumonia, or fever patients victims was the most used treatment in Europe and America by doctors until this century. It does not work and did not work for thousands of years, no matter how much blood they took. What the fuck? They also let you praying to specific saints for a miraculous cure was encouraged, and alcohol was legal. What the hell?
Well, that's like when they dug up Ben Franklin's home over in England or whatever, London. They ended the basement and took the floorboards out. They found bodies, so it's like he was experimenting.
Yeah, I guess he was trying something. The sacred smoke was this here. Hemp to enforce the law. The most severe punishment meted out of many of the aforementioned African tribes for their capital crimes was forcing transgressor to smoke daga/marijuana in massive amounts nonstop for hours in a small enclosed hut until he passes out, genuinely unconscious from smoking and inhaling the equivalent of a year or two supply of a heavy American smoker in just an hour or so. Does this punishment work? African users say the rate of repeat criminal offenses by these cannabis-treated transgressors is virtually non-existent. What in the hell? European and American cultures used hemp to enforce the laws in more terminal form of capital punishment, the hangman's noose of hempmen rope.
Oh, so they used hemp rope to hang people. Okay, that's wild.
That is fucked up. Balancing the budget. Lots of money is already being made off of smoking cannabis. $41.5 billion in 1988, according to the DEA. There's some of our dollar values on.
Was that like $2 trillion nowadays?
Yeah, no kidding. Hemp could erase the national debt in a matter of a few short years. Land values will rise in depressed rural areas. Yeah, amen.
You think that's why maybe they started bringing it back in 2014? I don't know. Something's goofy about that because, like, I don't know. We were doing a little research for stuff with the U.S. Army and uniforms and stuff like that. I think they're prepping hemp and things like that for a future war, man, because they know they're going to need it.
That's a solid point. That is a very solid point. Here's foods. If legalized as a food source, hemp protein would provide the basic nutritional building block for a variety of tasty new foods. The seed would be medical sciences food of choice for treating nutrition blocking illnesses such as tuberculosis. Hemp would supply domesticated animals cheaper and better proteins, thereby producing higher quality meats and healthier pets. Hemp would have the starving children around the world from brain damage physical deformity, or death, and it would help restore our world bird population. Those sound like good things.
So that leads a little bit more to the Rockefeller stuff too, man, because when he did that, he figured out how to take petroleum and convert it in to make medicine out of petroleum. So when he did that, he wanted to go after anything that stood in the way of being able to say, instead of getting hemp and cannabis and cannabinoids and things like that, we want you to take this petroleum pill for your problem, or petroleum-based pill. Sorry.
Sure.
And that's what a lot of our pharmaceuticals, people don't realize it's based off, a lot of those pharmaceuticals are petroleum-based type pharmaceuticals.
That's fair. Or I did not know that, though. That makes sense now that you put it that way. But, we lost Dustin. Hopefully he's okay. Thanks for tuning in, Jill. And again, sorry to everyone on damn Instagram. Their comments still aren't working. Sorry about that. The properties of hemp, affordable, available, herbal healthcare. Oh, they're talking about the plant. Bro, I feel like everything in here, I want to go find the source of where he found it and then read the rest of it too. Like this could just be this had to be so much time.
Thousands of hours.
Right?
One thing
what was that? That looked cool.
When they would request information back in the day, it took forever. Like you had to mail a letter,
sure.
response, then mail a check probably to pay for, like
Yeah. No, I'm sure it wasn't he wasn't just hitting up a website, obviously. Well, and a lot of I wondered too if he had to pay for, like now we don't even pay, who pays for a magazine anymore, but some of this I'm sure he had to like subscribe to, or I just crazy shit, dude.
Or go to a library with those big old machines that have the old newspapers.
Right. Man. So, well, I appreciate you coming out here to chop it up with me on this. I got to read more about JFK over here, how our heads of state got high. That just sounds cool. But, and what is anybody got any big plans for the weekend this weekend? We got St. Patty Days coming up on Sunday. Anybody got some green to celebrate the holiday with? We don't have to color our stuff like they do alcohol.
Yeah, no dye.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna go downtown Madison. I think tomorrow they got the St. Patrick Day parade. I think it's between 2 and 3 or 2 and 3:30 or something like that. So that'll be fun.
Oh, okay. Sounds like fun. I'm just gonna be kicking it with the wife. I'm gonna hit up. I'll be out in Erin for the Erin's citywide parade or whatever with the folks over at DNA Hemp. So if you guys are in the area, stop on out. Looking forward to that. But I'll let you get back to an evening with your family, Phil. Always appreciate your time, boss.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Everybody else, have a great night. Thanks for swinging out. We'll see you Monday.